Hey guys, good morning. It's July 13th, 2022, and I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop. And thank you so much for joining me. I've been off for a week, so sorry about that. But we are back and ready to roll. We have two brand new Lori Holt patterns. This first one that I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to kind of go back in time to like 3 or 4 years ago when we first started the FlossTube. This was one of the very first requested patterns that I remember in chat that you guys used to ask for, this design or this saying, you know, and so I kind of wanted to just kind of let you know sometimes it takes that long to actually do something, but we have so many possibilities with it, and I'm going to talk a lot about all about it. So this is called You Are the Boss. So one thing that Lori talks about over and over and over and always has is she says, you know, you're the boss of your own quilt. And the reason she says that is when she first started, she used fabrics that were scraps, and people would say, how do I make the quilt exactly like your quilt? And she was like, no, that's not the point. The point is for you to pick your own fabrics and make it your own. So this is the newest pattern release from Lori Holt. And right here, these are all 24 by 24. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do here. But right here, these are all brand new. Now, if you don't want to do the text right here, you can pull the border down and add 3 more stars. And if you do that, I'm going to show you in a little bit what you can fill in with that. So, and you can see kind of what she did here is these 4 have corners on them. The rest are a little bit lighter. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how she finished it. So we put on the pattern this piece number and where to get it. And then this is one of her fabrics. It's also listed on the back. So we put the fabric, the name of the rickrack, the frame from Hobby Lobby, and Cheryl stitched the sample using Cloud 25 count, which is right here. And this pattern, Lori listed DMC only. So we put together a DMC pack, and you'll notice she loves color 347. I feel like every single pattern she's ever published with us has that color. So some of these colors you might already have, so you might not need the full thread pack. And I'm just going to give you a little peek at the pattern. You can see it's full color, and it is available as a paper pattern right now. It will be a PDF pattern in 6 months. So I wanted to show you a couple of things. So this is the fabric right here, Cloud 25 count, and she's used this on so many things. So I'm sure a lot of you are comfortable with knowing what color it is. But I just wanted to show you like the floss on top. It's just white, so that's how it looks. Now, if you wanted to do a 14 count Ada, the Witchell white 14 count is very similar and would look perfectly fine. And on the back of the pattern, it'll tell you the size, but if you do 25 count, it's 6 5/8 by 11. And the last one she did, she framed similar to this. It's called So Happy, and we did a video on it. So if you want to know how to do this, we've already got a video on our channel. So this is the floss. Now I'm going to keep the floss out because I want to show you something with the floss in a second, because this is only the first of her 2 new patterns. So what I wanted to show you is if you don't want to do the text, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you can use one of the stars from Stitchy Stars. And the Stitchy Stars are fully stitched 24 by 24, and these aren't fully stitched, meaning there's a lot of white space. So all you would have to do if you substituted one of these is to just, you know, leave a little bit of it empty, like maybe leave the white empty. You could also use anything if you wanted to put some fruit in there. The Happy Farm Girl are 24 by 24. And then Quilty Love has some stars. These are all 24 by 24 also. So there's a lot of interchangeability, and she does that because we want you to be able to use what you already have, and a lot of you already have these. And I wanted to show you also the stitch cards. Any of these would fit in there without the border. So with the border, they're larger than 24 by 24, but any of these would fit in there. So you could actually use this layout, pull this down, and you could not even do any of these. You could do just stitchy stars. So there's so much flexibility with it that I'm really excited to see what a lot of people come up with, because I could see you doing a whole Christmas thing with this. You could do so many things with this. So that's that. But in addition to this, because Lori and I are always, well, mainly Lori, but we're always trying to think of what are the questions you guys are going to ask on live stream. What are you guys going to be looking for? And so she knew not all of you want to put this here. Maybe you want to put your name. Maybe you want to put Kimberly Jolly. I don't know what I would put here, but I don't know. You're the best mom. I don't know. I don't know what you would put here. But if you don't want to put this, she has a brand new pattern that's completely free called I'm Just Saying. And it has the uppercase letters. And you just download it for free at Fat Quarter Shop. The lowercase letters. And if you were going to do this, what I would do is get a graph paper and just color it in to make sure everything fits. Then she has symbols, if you want to get fun. Numbers. And a brand new chart. So this brand new chart right here says, I cannot count my day complete till needle, thread, and fabric meet. So it's 2 pages. And what we did here is she used 3328, and we just put a color. You can use any color, but we just listed what she did on the model. And this right here is oatmeal 25 count Lugana. So this is the color 3328. Now, if you buy the thread pack, there's probably not enough to do this and this. So you'd probably need a skein just for this one. And if you didn't want to work on the 25 count, you could work on the oatmeal 14 count. This is 2-sided. One side has modeling, one side does not. And so she had Cheryl stitch this on the modeling side, color oatmeal, but you can do it on 25 count or on 14 count. And what I wanted to show you is we're going to have a sew along. So our pop-up image is going to show you that we're going to be having a sew along with this. It starts August 3rd. So we kind of divided it up over 7 weeks. So it'd be August through September, or through the middle of September. And the way we divided it up is 7 weeks and kind of 2 stars per week. And I'm really, really excited to see what you guys come up with, because I know people are going to do some really fun stuff with this. With your alphabet, you can personalize your stitch. You can use it to sign your name, change out the text in the center. You can do so many things. And so this will be a sew along in September, but of course I also want to make this. So because I want to make this, I am going to do a wall of a bunch of cross stitches that have basically a white background. So what I decided to do, I'm going to do this the month of September. So I'm going to use the same fabric as this, which is Cloud, and I'm going to use color 930, and Lori picked it for me. Now 930 is not in this thread pack. She just picked it for me. So I'm going to buy 2 skeins of it just because I'm not sure. And I'm going to stitch on 25 count, and I'm just going to do it over 4 different weeks. It's not going to be a stitch along with like exact dates. It's just going to be for the month of September. We're going to stitch up the bonus chart. So on this piece right here, I am going to stitch exactly like this. I'm not going to change any colors, but when I stitch the bonus free pattern, I'm going to use Cloud 25 count and color 930 DMC. And I probably will start with the border and then just fill in week by week. Like I'll probably have the border done before it starts, and then that way I can just do text for the week. And then when I get all of my pieces, you're gonna see a couple of pieces came back from the framer. So after I get this one done and this one done, I'm gonna do a wall of like my quilty cross stitches. So that's super exciting. If you have any questions on this brand new pattern, let me know. This one is a paid paper pattern. This one is completely free, and I'm sure she's going to use that alphabet in the future. It's not going to be something that she's like one and done. I'm sure she's going to use that alphabet over and over and over. So I hope you guys are excited about that. We've been working on it a long time. In addition to those 2 charts, Stitch Card Set M just came out, and Lori comes out with these quarterly. I'm going to try to just lay them so you can see them. These are just our samples. Now we're going to send these to Lori. Cheryl stitched these, and we're going to have her, she's going to put them in pillows, I think, and she'll show them on her channel. So if you're part of our Stitch Card Club, these patterns you should already have because they ship the first week of July. The next release will be in September. These are Stitch Card M. And we also have a thread pack, which also, like I said, has that color 347. So she uses a lot of the same colors. So you don't always have to buy the thread pack. You know, you can always keep reusing what you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a sew along, and I'm going to be stitching the set during August, and I'm going to stitch it as one piece. And this is what we came up with. Now we put this as a low res image, so you'll have to buy the pattern. You can't copy it, but this is, and then, so that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna I'm gonna use the same fabric. This is Farmhouse 25 count, and I'm just gonna stitch them vertically. And I'm gonna stitch this one August 3rd, August 10th, August 17th. Let's do it this way. And I'm going to leave 3 stitches in between. Let's see, August 17th. And then August 24th. So it's just going to be stitched vertically. And then I'll probably frame it. So on this one, this one I'm not going to change any of the colors. I'm going to stitch it just like it is, and just do it as one piece. So that's going to be super awesome. So all of this is available at Fat Quarter Shop, and Set M now adds to my box, my stitch card box. And oh, I already have it in here, but now you can see I have all of this filled out. So these are all the stitch cards. So I have the stitch cards in here. So like if I want to just look like, okay, what can I combine? Because like I said, with the You're the Boss of Your Own Quilt, you could just do stitch cards and combine them, especially if you're in the club. You already have them. So super awesome. And sorry I couldn't this came out last week, so sorry I couldn't show you last week I was on vacation. And Kaynella said, I'm doing a lot more in 25 count. Are you switching alliances? No, I still love 14 count the best, but I can see on 25 count. I'm not going to do linen and all that stuff again, but I can do 25 count and 14 count, but 14 count is definitely my favorite. So now that's the first 3 new patterns from Lori. I'm going to move to season 2, A Year of Celebrations. And this pattern was released at Nashville Needlework Market, and I changed my colors. So right here, I wanted to show you this. These are Kathy's original colors that are in the pattern, just like this. So if you want to buy a thread pack, and I got the list of how many skeins to use off her website. So we have this available at Fat Quarter Shop. What I did is I made a different thread pack for me, and we took a ton of time, and Denise put in a conversion from what was Kathy's original and then what are the new ones. And we're going to start a sew along, and we were supposed to have a Stitchy Talk yesterday, but instead I took my little daughter to get her driving permit, and there she is driving my car, and I let her drive. I know some of you aren't from Texas, but I let her drive from Fredericksburg all the way to Austin, and about had a mental breakdown. But she did good. But then we went to dinner last night, and Kevin wouldn't let her drive. He was like, no, you're not driving. But it's different now. When I was young, you went to class, all this stuff. Now the parents teach you. So I wanted to also let you know on this. So anyway, I was supposed to do Stitchy Talk yesterday, but my little appointment at DPS came up, so I couldn't. So this, we're going to start Stitchy Talk July 19th, and I'm going to start stitching in July. So this is like January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So I will open my thread pack and show you how you follow it. And we did get a lot of questions on DMC equivalents to Kathy's. Those are included in her pattern. So if you want the DMC of Kathy's, they're listed in the pattern. Then we got questions, they wanted DMC equivalents to mine. So we did that, and we put those on the blog, which is the Jolly Jabber. So if you want to, now we don't have a thread pack. And if you buy this thread pack, you get all the color conversions up front. If you don't, they will be on the blog monthly. And like I said, I changed the colors. I'm going to stitch it as one piece. And this is Tropical Paradise, and this fabric is Prim 25 count. And the reason why is Prim is the biggest cut of fabric that Lori offers in 25 count. So I wanted to do it on that one just so that I would have a big enough piece. So this will be available to stitch with me next Tuesday. And let's see, I'm going to answer a couple of questions before I move on, because I'm seeing some questions. We have a question of if the You're the Boss comes out in a PDF, will it work on Pattern Keeper? We don't know. We don't use that app, so I don't know. It comes out as a PDF. I'm not familiar with it. Susan says, congrats, Emma. I'm very nervous. How did I get so old that I have a kid that's like bossing me around and driving me around? I don't know how that happened. Can you give me pattern ideas that would look good for using one thread color that is DMC variegated? I've actually never used DMC variegated, so I'm not sure what would look good. It might, with text, that might not look good because you're going to have so much color movement, you might not be able to see the text. Oh, and then Valeria Bauer, thank you for the super chat. She's always in here. She's so awesome. Thank you. So those are kind of like the new things that we're working on. We have a ton of stuff planned for the fall. So I think my hands might fall off. I might get so tired my hands might fall off. But we are in the middle of Jolly July. So because we didn't have a live stream last week, I'm going to show you all the progress I made over the last 2 weeks on Jolly July. And I got a lot done. And I'm not going to go in a particular order, but I'm going to start with Snowed and Sweet. This is a PDF by Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with the Housewives. And on this one, the only change that I made is I added blue, I added Really Tealy to the little gingerbread men. And then we have some little pop-ups because I wanted to show you something when I am in a time crunch, which is what I would consider this, working on Jolly July. I stitch color by color. So I did all the white, all the red, all the green, all the brown, and then I added the eyes at the end. And that was the most efficient way to stitch this. And it took about 6 hours, so it took quite a bit of time. But totally fun, and I love it. It's so cute. So that was my first one. And I am going to send all of the ones by them to Priscilla to finish. Our next one is the Letters to Santa. This is a PDF. It's a 5-part series available only at Fat Quarter Shop. We have a thread pack, and in the thread pack is an actual postcard that you can send to Santa. But part 1 was the border, and that took me 5 hours. And then doing this part only took 45 minutes. So this was pretty quick. And then later this week on Friday, part 3 will come out. And I think part 3 is down here, and I'll stitch part 3, and you'll get to see it next week. And this one's going to be really cute. I think I'm going to frame this one. The next one, I have a picture on the plane. So this was me stitching on the plane. And I think that was, yeah, that was after I finished stitching it on the plane. So I do stitch on the plane. And this, I did part 1 and part 2. And then right here, these are Smyrnas that are on the beard. And I had a little bit of trouble because I did them over here. And then when I was on the plane, I was like, wait, I don't remember what I did. So I had to kind of go back on, and all of these that you see right now that are black, I used 14 count chalkboard black. So just so you know, that's what I used. And let's see, I added Really Tealy to his eyes. And sometimes I think the eyes get lost. I mean, you don't see them on the camera, but in real life, I feel like you see them. And so this week, what I'm going to do is this little row right here, the tree, the cup, the gingerbread men. So you'll get to see that, and you can always follow us on Instagram, Facebook, at FQSX Stitch to follow along. Now this next one, I'm almost embarrassed to show you. So we're going to zoom in, but this is Sleigh Ride. It is a paper pattern from It's So Emma. Okay, so this one, I've been struggling a little bit because I've been switching between a size 26 needle that is Pat Carson and a size 28 needle that is Bowen. And I don't know which I like better. I just know that my stitches are crooked. So to put the houses here, what I wanted to do, we'll zoom in a little bit more, but what I wanted to do when I did the houses is I didn't want the red thread to bleed into the white. So if I stitched the red first and then put the white in, I thought the white would bleed. So I went ahead and did the whole bottom row of white. And on this one, I did do the loop method still, but I stitched the red house horizontal and the blue house vertical. Now, because I didn't keep my 2 strands together, I don't know that you can even tell a difference, but I was just trying something different. And my stitches are just ugly. They're like, look at that. That's horrible. So this fabric right here is 32 count. So it's equivalent to 16 count, and you can see my house. I mean, it's crooked. That is not straight. So I feel like when I take it to frame, they're going to have to do that because it is not my best work. Now, I love this, and I think it's going to be super cute, but I am a little concerned. This is not my best work. And then this week I'm going to do, I think, like a little, I think the next part is like right here. And the tree was pretty easy because what I did on the trees is I just outlined it and then just filled in. So on this one, I would just recommend doing your white stitches first, especially since this red is pretty strong. The next pattern I worked on is Joy to the World by Stitching with the Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea. And this one has taken a lot of time. So the first part took 5 hours, and then part 2 took like 3.5 hours. So this one's taking quite a bit of time. Now the one thing I haven't done here is there are little straight stitches on the ornaments that you would like add, and I might add those, I might not. I'm gonna kind of see how it looks at the end, but if I do those, I'm gonna do them at the very end because I'm afraid that just handling it, that I might, my stitches might get ugly because I roll up my fabric and stitch kind of like this, and I don't want my straight stitches to get messed up. But other than that, I made no changes at all. And this one is so cute. I love this piece right here. The next one is Christmas Lights, Crate of Christmas Lights, also by Priscilla and Chelsea. And I did make 2 changes to this, and I struggled a little bit with these. I used 2 strands, and that's what they recommend. I did try it with 1 strand, but it didn't look good. So I went with 2 strands, and some of their stitches were you start and stop in the middle of a stitch, which I can't do because I'm using Aida, not an even weave. So I just kind of changed my stitches locations a little bit. But on theirs at the bottom, there isn't this final row of blue. And when I was stitching it, I didn't feel like the word lights showed up. So I just added that bottom row so it would look, you could see it better. And then the only other change I made was I added blue. It's so funny because this is clearly blue and you cannot even see it on the camera, but I added really tealy to the eyes. And this one took about 5 hours. I feel like I'm almost out of breath. All this stuff that I make, it's crazy. I don't even know how I do it. This one is Cookie Delivery. And this is a PDF. So if you didn't know, every Wednesday and Friday, Priscilla and Chelsea release a brand new pattern that's a PDF on their Etsy site and on our site. On this one right here, all that I did different was adding the eyes. That's it. So super easy, super fun. Didn't make any other color changes. I generally don't make too many changes to Priscilla and Chelsea's or Lori's. And then today's, I went ahead and did early because I got it a little bit early. And this one, the only change I made was adding the blue here. And on this one, my only concern is I think with this, it might have looked better with really tealy instead of Tropical Paradise, but I'm gonna leave it. So super cute. And then they did something new that I've never seen them do before, is they added little they added eyelashes to the little lady, and I've never seen them do that to the grandma. So this is cute, and I added them. I thought, okay, let me just add them. And then for Jolly July, Cheryl is also stitching Jolly July. Her Jolly July plans are to start or get progress on 4 larger patterns, 1 beginning each Sunday, and then also do 1 ornament each week. So the first one that she's worked on so far is Kringle and Woolard, and this is by Plum Street Samplers. The fabric is 32 count ballet slippers by Fox and Rabbit. She's using the called for Fancy Floss. It's a combo of Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, and Gentle Arts. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, can I see my blue, the sleigh ride piece? This is a great way to show it. Now, Cheryl stitches the correct way. And the correct way, this is a great example. The correct way to stitch is to keep 2 strands together, and when you start, you stitch over your first couple of stitches, and it keeps you get a very nice variegation. That's what you're supposed to do. But I use the loop method, so that loses the variegation. So you can see right here I have a little bit of variegation, but if you want a lot of variegation, you have to do it like Cheryl. So that's her first one. Her second start is Christmas Eve by Cottage Garden Samplings. This fabric right here, 36 count slate by Fiber on a Whim. This pattern is DMC, so she's using the called for DMC, and she made 1 thread substitution. She's using Gentle Arts Claret instead of Rose Garden. So I think that's probably this one. And you can see that another thing to see is depending on what thread you get, depends on how your variegation comes out. So your pattern will never look exactly like somebody else's if you stitch using 2 strands together. Her third piece is also Plum Street Samplers, and then this one, this is the ravens and this is the deer. And this sounds so much like Cheryl. She found that she'd already made the raven and forgot about it. or like hadn't finished it. So she already had this one done, but we wanted to show you that. And then she's gonna do this one, the deer. The deer is stitched on 36 count Bramble by Picture This Plus, called for Weeks Dye Works, and DMC. And this one looks like Prim 25 count. And one thing she's not doing is she's not adding the border to it. So that's a way you can always make your piece a little bit different. You don't always have to do the border. So that is Jolly July. So now I'm going to take any questions you have before we move on. I see a couple of questions in there. Carol is asking if I've ever used Floshay thread. I don't know what that is, so no. Oh, and then Holly Martin, she gave me a super chat. Thank you so much. She says, happy Jolly July, Kimberly and team. Thank you for all you do for the cross stitch community. Oh, thank you. Vicky is asking what size needle I use for 25 count Lugana, and I use size 26. Does Cheryl use 1 strand or 2 strand on 36 count? 1. Yeah, I had to look to make sure. Yes, 1. Oh, okay. DJB Quilts wants to change the sign name in Kringles. Is there an alphabet that you can use? No, there isn't. What I did is that we have a graphic artist that works for us and has worked for us forever named Sarah, and she did it for me as a favor. For the year of celebration, what is the stitch count and size when doing it in one piece like Kimberly? Let's see if I can find it on the pattern. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna look real quick, and then if y'all have any questions, pop them in. Any questions about Lori's new patterns? Okay, so on a year of celebrations, we printed this. This is the free border from Kathy at Hands On Design, and if you stitch it as one, it's 172 wide by 226. And so and I'm using 25 counts, so it comes out to almost 7 inches by almost 14. It's a little bit, you just divide that out. I finally caught a live stream. Have you ever incorporated a cross stitch into a quilt? No, I haven't. I think on the candy cane you don't have the snowflakes on the roof. Was that intentional? Okay, let me see candy cane and we'll see. I probably just forgot it. You don't have the snowflakes in the roof. Maybe I missed it. I probably missed it. Where did I get my top? We were talking about that this morning. I don't know. I found it in my closet. It has a tag on it. So I think I got it in one of my Nordstrom boxes. Okay, let me look at the pattern off the screen. I think they're there. Oh, okay. I think that we probably stitched an earlier version of the pattern. That's what happened. So the earlier I stitch in advance. So I think the earlier version probably didn't have it. And that's fine. I like it the way it is. But yes, that was, oh, good catch. Sue would like to know if I can show Ada choices for seasons using the DMC colors. No. And the reason why is we don't have a thread pack. We took so much time doing that classic Colorworks pack and put so much time into doing that color card. I don't want to spend a ton of time on the DMC. And we listed the colors, but that took hours to come up with even more conversions. And I don't want to do a thread pack on that. I just want to focus on the one that we do, but we do have them, but I'm not going to show them just because we don't have a thread pack. I just don't want to put time into that one. When will Christmas time sales start? In November. Have I tried the Peacemaker needles? I think I have. Have I heard if Little House Needleworks is coming out with a new club? No, maybe we'll text her today. We'll put a note and no, I don't know. Or email her. No, I don't know. Rick and Beverly said, Kaynella said that the best hint you have given is to turn the fabric upside down and stitch opposite of what one's going to. I'm not sure what that means. I will have to show that in a future Stitchy Talk because I know what she's talking about, but I don't think I can verbally explain it. And I'm trying to think of, I think I might have shown that in the Cross Stitch University. But it's just a quick way to stitch faster. So I do a lot of tips. I mean, I stitch all of these things, but I am try to be very efficient. So I stitch as fast as I can. And I do, even though I stitch really fast, I do take a lot of pride in my work and really want it to look really nice. And I, you know, like with the sleigh ride, I'm super embarrassed that my stitches are so ugly. So yeah. I did not understand what you were saying about the variegation in your thread when you compared your project to another. Can you explain it or tell me where to learn about it? Yes. Do we have a, can I have a, yeah, let me have that. Let me have a actual thread and then the blue. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Oh, let me see that whole bag. So this is how Cheryl stores her stuff. She keeps her pattern in here. And she keeps her floss in here, and her needles are usually in here too. So this is how Cheryl does it. And then she puts this and this into a project bag. But she does keep all of her fabric, her threads in here. Okay, so I'll kind of talk through it. And sorry, Cheryl, I'm going to pull one of your threads. Oh, look, she has a needle right there. Just loose. That's funny. That sounds like something I would do. She probably has it on there on purpose. Oh, she has it. Oh, they're pre-threaded. Look at Cheryl. It's pre-threaded. Oh my goodness. They're all pre-threaded. Oh my gosh, Cheryl. Look, all of these are pre-threaded. Okay, that's what y'all should do. If I did that, I would stick myself with a needle all over the place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. And actually, it works because she's already got it pre-threaded. Haha. Okay. Okay, so when you pull, can we zoom out a tiny bit, please? Thanks. So when you pull it off the thread, you can see this variegation. When you pull a strand off, if you keep two of them together, the variegation stays together. So it might be like dark, lighter right here, medium, darker. It keeps the variegation. And if you stitch 1X at a time, you can't do it in rows either, but if you stitch 1X at a time, you get the look of variegation. But what I do, because it doesn't matter to me, is I take one strand, put it together, do the loop method, and just stitch, and whatever happens, happens. But my work will always have less variegation, and you can always tell my work from Cheryl's because she does it the proper way. So hopefully that makes sense. You could also Google fancy floss, classic color work, stitching with fancy floss, something like that. And then I'll try to put this back the way Cheryl had it. So I think that's what she kind of had. I'm trying 16 count. Is it more difficult to stitch in hand? Yes, 16 count, my stitches never look great. I'll still do it, but my stitches, I have gotten my stitches to, when I stitch in hand, they look really nice when I'm doing 14 count or 25 count. I think they look great. My 16 count, my 36 count, all that linen, anything uneven, all looks horrible. My glitter village that you're gonna see in a little bit, it looks horrible. Okay, Anita said, will using 14 count black cloth for stitching with the housewives patterns instead of even weave, will it still work for pairing with Hobby Lobby items? Yes. Yeah, so I use 14 count chalkboard black, and at the end of the show, I'm gonna show you two things that I accidentally made in actual black Witchell fabric so you can see the difference. And all of it is very matchy-matchy. What makes a good size ornament in cross stitch? I would say 3x4 or 4x4 or even 3x3. What is the name of the cross stitch behind you on your right with United States that says July? That is Snapshots July by Pine Mountain Designs. Okay, so now I'm going to show you Boo Crew, which is our current mystery sew along. So we always have a Halloween sew along. This one is free, so you can come to our website every Friday, Monday. You can come to our website every Monday, and we're on part 2. So this was part 1. This is part 2. And did we get Peaceful Purple back in stock? Okay, so we're still waiting for more Peaceful Purple to come back in stock, but the original was stitched by Cheryl on Peaceful Purple. We have 2 thread packs, so the pattern is completely free, and we have 2 different thread packs. One is Classic Color Works and one is DMC. And I am not a fan of purple, so what I'm doing instead is I changed my fabric to Spooky Hollow 14 count Ada by Fabric Flair, and then where the purple is, I'm just using Colonial Copper, which was already in the thread pack. I just added a second skein, and here it's going to be, I mean, obviously it says Boo Crew, so there's probably going to be an O on Monday, I mean, if I had to guess. And so that's where I'm at on that. The next item I worked on is flea market baskets. And this is a 25 count, and the Prim fabric for season 2 is an even weave, and anytime I talk about using a 25 count by Lori, it's an even weave. But when you look at this, my piece is not that great because it's 25 count, and you can tell it's not exactly straight. So, I mean, when I get this framed, it's gonna have to be stretched a little bit. So I'm to right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm way ahead because this is a full month. But what I'm going to do for the rest of July is I'm going to do these two. And I think I'm going to stop. I don't think I'm going to keep the border. And then when it comes to August, I'm going to start the border back up again, because I have spent so much time getting so ahead that I'm almost too much ahead. I still want to finish it in like September, but I might have to move that to October. But this one, Lori had framed in Salt Lake City at Craft Center, and I'm actually going to send this one to Craft Center just so that I know it's framed correctly, and I'm just going to use the same frame she did. But I will tell you that my work, when you look at it, the 25 count, it's just not as good. Now, if it's a small piece, it's not going to matter. But some of my 25 counts don't look that great. And then, since I saw you last, Fall on the Farm, Part 7 came in stock. I love this one. And this, okay, look, this is 14 count. No, it's not. It's a 16 count. My work's not straight. Look at that. Crooked. It needs to be pulled. I might have to send this to Lori's framer. So this one I worked on yesterday, and I got 2 hours in. And then I'm going to do 2 more hours this next week, which will probably be right here. Probably the white pumpkins, which I already started, and the little pumpkin patch sign. And then I might be able to get the tree in. So hopefully I will have Part 7 done before Part 8 comes in, just so that I can stay caught up. I did want to let you know that when Part 6 came out, it was incorrectly labeled as Part 7. So if you, like if you're doing this in a couple of years or something, just go to Diane's website, Little House Needleworks, look at her final layout so that you put them in the right spot. And this one is 16 count Beautiful Beige by Witchelt. The total stitch count is 195 by 195. So it's going to be at about 12 1/4 inches square. I changed a couple of the colors from our thread pack, and I can show you what I did on my thread pack. Is as I've stitched part 1 through 6, on the back, this little sheet comes in the thread pack, and what I did is I just hand wrote my changes right here. So I changed pea pod to steamed broccoli, Just Rust to chili pepper, Muddy Puddle to Pebble Beach, and Weeping Willow to Lemongrass. And then when I'm done, I'll put this in here. Now the one thing I will tell you is I'm getting pretty low on my thread from my thread pack. So, I mean, I don't have that much left of any of the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go back and restock. And I think it's because I used 16 count and she used a much smaller count, I think. Oh, maybe she used 32. But I am really bad when I stitch. I don't keep too many of my leftovers. So I think that if Cheryl was stitching this, she would have had enough. But I am getting low on my thread. So just FYI. Now I have a mess. And then I don't need 6 Wonder Clips. That's where they are. I was looking for them in my house. I was like, where are my Wonder Clips? Oh, that's where they are. But this is probably one of my favorites from this year, just because it's very different for me, but I think it'll be really nice to decorate with, and it'll be a nice big piece. And then Jennifer's asking if this will ever be released as one pattern. It won't be by Diane, but once we get the 9th pattern, we will make a set of all 9 and sell it as a pack in our store, Fat Quarter Shop. So this project bag with my name on it, this right here is from our free alphabet pattern at Fat Quarter Shop. It's a paid pattern. Sorry, not free. Paid pattern. And then I did a video on how to do this. And I just made it up. I mean, it's just something I made up. I'm not the best bag maker though, so y'all might watch that video and think, oh, I could probably make a bag better. But yeah, it's a low price PDF though. You could do something like this though with the brand new free pattern. You could take, this is a great idea that I just came up with. The piece, Lori's piece, the very first thing we showed today, that right there. You could make a bag. You could put that right there. You could say you're the boss of your own bag. You're the boss of your own kid. You're not. You're the boss of your own dog. You're the boss of your own husband. You're the boss of yourself. I don't know, whatever. I'm not the boss of anybody, I'll tell you that. My kids don't listen to me. I mean, they kind of do. Another thing I got progress on, and I was really hoping that I would get this done, but I did not. And I'm actually right in the middle of a stitch. I don't know. So this is Wreath Swap July, and in a little bit, I can actually show you now that I have what this goes with. So, let me see if I can explain this correctly. So Wreath, Home is Where the Wreath Is, was the very first part of this series. And so I stitched mine on 14 count chalkboard black. My one change that I made is I used bamboo instead of 12 grain. And Priscilla thankfully finished this for me. And Priscilla and Chelsea both made a video that released yesterday, July 12th, 2022. The name of the video is called Home is Where the Wreath Is Finishing Tutorial. You can find it on the Stitching with the Housewives channel. And she shows exactly how to do this. She goes through how she cuts the bottom board 6 inches, the top board 5 inches, how she uses the different cutter, everything. And if you have any questions, I would definitely direct them to Priscilla and Chelsea because I obviously don't know how to finish these. But I did want to show you, I got this done. This is part of the original. But then in June, Wreath Swap 1 and 2 came out recently. So this is June, and this is finished, just so you can see. And then this is going to be July when I get it done. So it'll be interchangeable. So I am hoping to take this home and go ahead and get it kind of up in my house and then switch it out. So you guys, selfishly, I'm going to take it and you probably won't get to see it for a while. And what she did, okay, let me explain this. This is a great thing. So if she made the magnets both vertical and horizontal, which, I mean, I know that's probably not the right term, but then she just put 2 magnets here for washers. The reason why is it can be horizontal or it can be vertical. And all the information is in that video. Because I don't know a thing about finishing. I'm just like so grateful that Priscilla finishes this stuff for me. I owe her big time. So, so excited, but I did hope that I was going to finish July, but I will definitely have it finished by next week. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just follow her video and we're going to make, how many do we have to make now? We need to make, I think 11 of these. And then all we have to do is just pop them on when we're done. And I'm not sure if I'm going to display this horizontally or vertically. I haven't decided yet. But when I get it displayed in my house, which hopefully will be today. Well, wait, today's not Friday. Maybe Friday or Saturday. I did buy a piece of furniture that doesn't fit and couldn't get through the door. So my husband had to take off a door, which is quite funny. I'm going to send Jordan a photo. Yeah, I bought a piece of furniture and it didn't fit in the house. And my nanny called and was like, did you measure this? And I was like, no, of course not. So I'll show it to you real quick. Sorry, last minute. But when I get it displayed, I'm going to, I'll take a photo and show you. Okay. So the next one I worked on is Summer Refreshes. And this one, did I get one framed back yet? No. Okay, so my previous two are both at the framer, I think. I think both of my previous two are at the framer still. So I took my framer so many things that I don't even know. Like, I think I filled up their whole month. So when I get my previous two back, I'll show you. And then all I have left is the blue column and the red column, and it won't take me too long. And then what I'm gonna do is have it ironed, and when I go pick up my previous two, I'm gonna take this and just try to get them all framed about the same. So, and I did take this picture, the pictures, sorry, of the previous two with the frames to my framer, and I couldn't find an exact frame, but I tried to get something a little bit close. I'm not sure, when is the autumn pattern coming out in this series? Oh, this one. I'm not sure, probably 3 months, fall. Needlework Expo. Sorry, the next release comes out at Fall Needlework Expo at the end of August. Sorry. I think I've been talking too long. Oh my gosh. And then that'll be the last one. So Glitter House Village 6, I'm still working on it. It's just like the death of me almost. So I got, it took me about 4 hours. I started here, and I have the tree, part of the deer, and then part of the house. And you'll see kind of what I try to do is I try to do the white first. And this, obviously, this should have been done June 30th. We're now in July. I'm just going to work on this when I can. It's going to get done, but I did realize doing Glitter Village and Nutcracker Village is just too much. So by July 30th, July 31st, I will have Glitter Village done. And then I'm going to go to August, September, October, and then I'm just going to finish Glitter. Then I'm just going to go back and finish Nutcracker Village. Or if I'm not going to finish it, I don't know what I'll do. I'm definitely going to finish Glitter Village, but this is like killing me to stitch this. It's just too much. Okay, so now we have the photo. So this is, I bought a piece of furniture. So I bought a piece of furniture. Let's just leave it at I bought a piece of furniture. Sometimes I buy things and I have them delivered when Kevin's not home. I mean, he clearly knows. He's very observant. He doesn't miss anything. Yeah, he had to take the door off. Now the door is off. Now he had to buy sliders because the sliders we have are not going to work. And I don't even know if it's going to work to get in here. He thinks it is. And I said, well, if it doesn't work, we'll just put it in my closet. And he was like, it's still got to go through the same doors, the same size doors. You're not going to just get it in your closet. So anyway, I kind of thought about this because he's got to hang up my home sign. And then I'm going to get him to do this. So I'm going to get him to do it all at one time. That thing is like super heavy, but hopefully he did take the door off. So last night the door came off. So now I can't do anything because there's a door by my computer, but whatever. Okay, so my next finish is Holiday Hallmarks, Halloween. So this is the second. So this is the second in the series. There's going to be 4. So I finished this, and this one, if you remember, I did week by week. There's 4 pages in it. It's a PDF pattern. The first one, though, was Patriotic. So we have Halloween and Patriotic. And my framer did get me this one back. And I love it. I think it looks great. So on this one, what I'm going to do when I take this one is I'm going to take this with it and then have them just frame it, just say make it the same. So that they can figure out, they have so many frames there. They can figure out, you know, what frame it is and then how much they measured from side to side. And I think this frame will work here. And I'm going to try to do all 4 of them the same. And then when I do them all the same, then I can just switch them out throughout the year. So we've got that, and then I'm gonna let you see that much. That is gonna be the 3rd one, August. it's going to come out. Okay, that's all you get to see. And these are low price PDFs, and they're only available at Fat Quarter Shop. So, but I really like the way this frame came out. I was looking for something a little bit more rustic, but they didn't have anything. And it's pretty thick. I mean, it's pretty thick. It's a pretty big old expensive frame. I was able to finish the Granny Squared cross stitch along. This is a free pattern from Lori Holt. And again, you could take the alphabet and I could put Kim there or something, Piggy or whatever. And we finished this one here. These are frames that I got in Utah at a store called Quilted Bear. And then if you wanted to do just one, we put that in here. And when you put it on a frame, the best thing about this is if you use an easel, if you put it on the easel flat, you get this look. If you put it on the easel horizontal, you get a different look. And I did leave the glass in both. And I wanted to show some pop-ups. This is Lori's. So just to remind you that Lori did this with, the cross stitch is based on the crochet block. So she's got some crochet blocks there. She has lots of videos on her channel. Her YouTube channel is called Lori Holt. She has lots of videos on how to make the granny square. And she has a video on our channel, our quilting channel, on how to turn the granny squares into pillows. And if you watch my July 22nd live stream on the quilting side, you will see that I have almost a table runner done and I have a couple of pillows done, and it is so cute and I'm so excited. But anyway, I digress. That is Lori's, and she has all of her floss on her Farm Fresh Egg Drop thread packs. And then we thought it'd be fun to show some other people's stitches. So this is Nancy's, and here she says she cannot crochet a granny square, but she loves to cross stitch. So she used this on a scrap 14 count Aida, and she used different silky threads. And then there she didn't connect. She if you look there, she doesn't have a space between her pieces, and then if you look here, there is a space. So that's one thing you can do, is show different, you can connect them with or without spaces. The next one, she basically put it on point. This is Stitching Sandy, and I love how she put fabric on the outside, put it on point, and made a little pillow. And you can use it as a pillow, you can use it as a bowl filler, you could even use it as a pin cushion. If I was going to use it as a pin cushion, I'd probably only put the pins in the fabric, not the cross stitch piece. And then Kathy, she did a couple things. So she made a July pillow, and then she also made, I really like how on the one on the bottom right, she added fabric one at a time. So it's kind of like you start and you just go around, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but she's got two cute little pillows. And then this is Crimpiful, and she did a micro project. And so what she did is, I'm not sure what count she stitched those on, but she did gradient shades of thread, and then she just cut it two squares outside, and then you could put that on a pegboard or something else. And then Be So Inspired says, would you like to make this little 10-inch square patchwork with me? It is fun and easy. Grab the links. And so she did 4 different ones. And then she's using Lori Holt's Cute Cuts 2.5-inch square to trim hers down. And then you can look forward to following her to see what she does with those scraps of fabric and the cross stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to take a 2-minute break, just because I need to drink. I really need some tea. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break, maybe 5 minutes. I'll be right back. But when I come back, the first thing I'm going to do is answer questions. So pop your questions in now. The second thing I'm going to do is show you all of my finishes that I got back from the framer. And the third thing is I get to show you lots of new things at Fat Quarter Shop. So give me just a couple of minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, so thank you for letting me have a break, and I'm going to answer questions. Our first question is they want to see Jordan, and Jordan says, no, he's behind the camera. He wants to stay behind the camera, so you guys cannot see Jordan. The second question was if I've crocheted granny squares, and I have. Those are going to be July 22nd on my quilting channel. I'm going to show them to you. They're super cute. I'm really proud of what I did. I could kind of tease it now, though. I could tease it. Okay, how about that? I'll tease a little bit. Sorry, ignore the screaming. They're having a team meeting. Oh, just hand me the whole thing. Yeah, so, oh my goodness, they're really loud out there. So, this is my little sneaky peeky. So, what I ended up doing is I ended up making them all the same. And I'm going to make a table runner. And then these I'm going to actually take apart and to put them into pillows. So I did just different. I'm going to take two of these apart. I'm going to take two of these apart, make these a pillow. So yeah, that's my sneaky peek. But and then and I have more. I have some that I didn't finish, that I didn't really like. Like I didn't really like those, but I might put that into it. Those are a little dark for me, so I might put those in a pillow. But I'm going to show this July 22nd. I don't have time to work on it before then, but this is, since y'all wanted a little peek. Okay. Pamela said, someone asked Kimberly how many quilts she's done. How many cross stitches have you done? This year, I'm at about 80 cross stitches, and quilts, I'm at about 30. Chunky thread will be back in stock hopefully in the middle of July, which is now. So hopefully any day. We will actually email. I'll have Ryan email Riley Blake to try to get a date. The September month-to-month chart will be shipping to club members next week. It has not arrived yet. What is the pattern behind? What is the pattern for the flag finished as a pillow behind Kimberly? American Spirit. It was part of our Stitch Quarterly subscription, and we have it as a PDF online. Kristen, I was gifted a large amount of older Ada. How would you recommend getting deep creases out? I mean, the only thing I can think of is an iron. And one of the questions in here is, how do I keep everything so pressed and wrinkle free? We press them right before we do the live stream. So that's a secret. They're in my bag. They're just thrown in my bag. But I just press them really good. Okay, this is the question that, is DMC Pearl Metallic Gold Floss easy to work with? No. I started with working with metallic on the Glitter Village. I think I got 2 months done and I pulled it all out because it was so horrible. And my stitches looked so bad. So I am not a fan of metallic. I'll probably never try it again. Karen says, since Cheryl always uses the dyed over, holding it so one gets the most variegation, would she demonstrate how she starts her thread? She doesn't need to show us her face or talk. We have a video on that, I think. It's an old one. Oh, super chat from Pokey Little Pineapple. Thank you. She says, thank you, Kimberly, Ashley, and Jordan. Love live streams and videos. After sunshine, you are my sunshine. Oh, that's so sweet. How is Piggy? Oh, Piggy. He's a little naughty boy, but he's doing good. I'm not going to say what he did this morning. What technique of stitching uses the most thread? So probably the loop method uses the most because you waste more, because at the end you have 2 half pieces instead of 2 pieces that are longer. How do I keep my work straight? I don't think my work is straight. My 14 count Ada is great. My other stuff is kind of a hot mess. So I just try to keep my tension. I try to just hold it and then just keep my tension consistent throughout. So try not to pull too hard. My 16 count doesn't look great. I feel like my Fall on the Farm looks good, but my 32 count does not look good. So I think I think also practice time. Like I said, you know, I'm on project 80 or something for this year. I don't know if you've ever read the book. There's a book. Let me think. It's a really popular book, but it talks about how it's a great thing that I talk to my kids about is after 10,000 hours, you can be perfect at anything. So if you don't put the time in, it's not going to come out right. So basically, the only reason my stuff is halfway good is because I do it all the time. So I am going to show you all of my finishes. So this is actually June, and because we didn't have a live stream last week, I didn't get to show it to you. So this is my Barn Sweet Barn, which is the star in the center of Flea Market Baskets. The colors are on the blog. This one is my piece, and it is stitched with Cloud 14 count. 10 count, sorry. Cloud 10 count. Now Denise is doing hers on buttermilk 10 count, and she's using the barn by 141 Design Company. So we sell this barn. You do have to stain it. This is from the Target dollar spot from December. I'm sure they're sold out now. But I wanted to tease and show you the colors for July. So July's colors and June colors are both on our blog, which is the Jolly Jabber. Colors 311, 825, 3755, 321, and color 02. And so at the end of July, I will show you mine stitched up. It's not stitched up yet. And we do have a finishing tutorial on this. No, we don't. Never mind, we don't. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I think I've been talking too long. I think once we go over 80 minutes, my mind is gone. Oh, and the next one, oh my gosh, it's my first time seeing it. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so cute. Okay, this one was an unexpected stitch. This is called Bucket Brigade, and it's the Easter Bucket Brigade dash Easter. It comes from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I used all of the called for classic color works, but I changed the bucket to Really Tealy, and the reason why is when Priscilla and Chelsea stitch, they stitch on actual black. When I stitch on chalkboard black. You're going to see a little example of that in a second, but on the chalkboard black, the baking tin did not show up. So all I did was changed my bucket to Really Tealy, and then I changed, because of that, the little bunny was supposed to be in blue, a blue shirt, but that would have kind of blended together. So I just made the bunny a girl bunny and made her Blushing Beauty. And this one was one that I just decided to make last minute. Okay, this little piece right here is from the spring section of Hobby Lobby. HL 9177965. And then she just stuffed the little greenery and the little carrots. So I love this finishing. It's so cute. Love it, love it, love it. But I'm going to keep this out just to show you something. So earlier in the year, during Valentine's, Be Mine, Stitch Along, I accidentally stitched 2 of the pieces on black, not chalkboard black. And I didn't notice until I was on live stream, and I was like, those look really black, those don't look chalkboard black. So this is a great way. This is chalkboard black, and this is black, just black Witchell. So this is just black Witchell, chalkboard black Witchell. That's just the brand that I happen to use. Other brands might have different color names. But when I realized I did both of those wrong, I'm going to show you the patterns they come from. When I realized I did these 2 with the wrong, or not, it's not wrong. First, let me tell you the names. This is Follow Your Heart, Dapper Doodad, Priscilla and Chelsea, Stitching with the Housewives. Snowed in Love, Dapper Doodads, same designers. But when I realized I stitched these on black instead of chalkboard black, I didn't want them to stick out with the other items I made. So I had these framed, and I asked the framer to get them the same size, and they did. But I had these framed, so I will probably display these a little bit apart from my other Valentines that Priscilla's gonna finish for me. I think she already has. Yeah, she already finished these, but anyway, the point is, I accidentally stitched on black instead of chalkboard black. So because of that, I framed these 2 so they wouldn't stick out next to the pieces that Priscilla finished for me. The next finish I have is by Silver Creek Samplers, and I wish I would have been able to show this during the live stream that we had with Diane, and y'all should check that live stream out. It's one of my favorites. So this is Follow Your Heart, but take your stitching with you. I stitched on 25 count Lugana wheat by Zweigart. I used Classic Colorworks Sticks and Twigs for the brown, Cherry Cobbler for the red, Jakey Brown for this pinkish color, and Pebble Beach for this. And I picked a different frame for this one. And a lot of times when I leave, because I take like 10 pieces at a time, I only go every couple of months. But when I took it and I left, that frame was discontinued. So this is my backup frame that these other two are also framed in. So I'm going to keep that there. I got the same frame in Merry Making Mini Floral Heart by Heart and Hand. And then Merry Making Mini Yay for Love by Heart and Hand. So I just went ahead and had them put these in the same frame. And I asked them to keep a lot of space around it. And I don't like it. I don't think it looks good. This one is, first of all, crooked. So this is going back to the primer, first of all. This is crooked right here. Maybe, oh, maybe it's not. I don't know. But I don't really like it. I think I should have made a little bit. Do y'all think it's crooked? Comment. Let me know. It looks crooked, so it's getting redone. They're gonna redo it, and I'm gonna have them crop it in. These two. I've been having a couple of issues with crookedness, so I'll have to put that in my stack of going back to the framer. The next one I got back was Quiltography, and this one is a paid PDF, and we had it originally framed on top or mounted on top of a spool. We still have those spools in stock, but since I'm doing a wall of cross stitch that I was talking about, I went ahead and got mine framed. So this is Quiltography, and this next one is Stitchography. So when I took Quiltography, or whatever, whichever one I did, is I took another one. I took the matching one in. One was already framed, but needed to be fixed. And then one, I wanted the frames to not match perfectly, but be the same color family so they could go on the wall at the same time. So this one, I'm not sure. They're just a little bit different. This one, I'm trying to get it to show on camera, but this one, oh, it has a curve, and then this one's just flat. But I just made sure when I got them done that they would look, you know, somewhat good. And to go with this, inside our thread pack, we have a free pattern, Stitcher's Gonna Stitch, and it's the same thread pack for both. So if you get the Stitchography or Quiltography thread pack, it's gonna have this free pattern. And so I got this one framed, and this is the same frame here. I'm not sure why this one's not the same. I think it was supposed to be the same. So this is probably gonna, all three of these are probably gonna go back, and I'm gonna see why this one is curved, because it's supposed to be flat. Or maybe I'll leave it, we'll see. So that's all my finishings. I'm going to answer a couple of questions, and then what I'm going to do is answer questions, show what's new, and then answer the ending questions. Valeria Bauer, she gave me another super chat. She said, "You make my day so happy." Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're way too nice. Will I be using a hoop when stitching a year of celebrations? No, I'm going to stitch in hand. And I'm going to demo that next Tuesday on Stitchy Talk. That has been postponed for 2 weeks. Sorry about that. Is it better to pull one strand at a time and then put 2 together? Yes. So you would pull one strand, a second strand, and if you're doing Cheryl's method, you would just make sure they are laying in the same direction that they came out. So now I'm going to show a lot of what's new. It's going to be a lot of things because we haven't had a live stream in so long, so it'll be fun. So this first thing, okay, I'm going to see if I can do this without tea going everywhere. You think I can do it? No? Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we had these stickers made to match the month to month for Stitching with the Housewives, and they're vinyl, so they're repositionable. I don't want to reposition it though. So I'm going to just change them out. So this is July, and I'm going to open it and show you the sticker set. And I put it on the Yeti by them, the Stitching with the Housewives Yeti, and we did get more of those back in stock. I had all of those remade. So if we were only sold out for like a week. So I'm going to go in order. So these kind of give you a little sneak peek of what your future month to months will look like. So cute. You could put these on your car. You could put them on your fridge. But I'm going to be using them for my Yeti. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. And July is on my drink. So here's July. It's so cute. Okay, it's a little, there you go. So you can see them all together. So you can kind of see the theme that Priscilla and Chelsea are going with. And obviously the barns will be different in each piece. The barns are not going to all be the same, but because they haven't designed them all, we just kept the barn the same for the sticker's sake, so that y'all could get stickers all at one time, because I didn't want to sell them to you monthly. That would be way too expensive. So they're I'm going to peel one off and just kind of show you how they work. They're so cute. And so they're only available at Fat Quarter Shop. You just peel them off, and they're vinyl. So, and then they just come up. So yeah, they just come up. Sorry, I have to do that kind of stuff sometimes. It's like the day that my bobbins fell all over this. Anyway, I was super excited to do those. So I hope you love them. I hope that sells, because it's something totally different and fun. And if you like those sticker packs, we will make more in the future for future things that Priscilla and Chelsea want. I showed you Bucket Brigade Easter, and that was the previous issue. This is Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and this is their Bucket Brigade for 4th of July. And if I was stitching this one, I would probably have to change the color of the tin, and I'd probably do it navy. Another magazine that came out was Cross Stitch Halloween. And what we're going to do is I'm going to let Jordan zoom in to right here so you can see the front. And I can't flip through, because if I flip through, it will show you the actual cross stitch. The photos are right next to the cross stitch. So this gives you an idea. There are 30 different ornaments in this issue. Jump into Cross Stitch is a book by Sally Wilson, and you've probably seen her online store called Caterpillar Cross Stitch. She is from the UK. And I'm going to show you a summary of all of the designs. There are 6. This is a smaller book, so it's let me see how many pages. 36 pages. And these are the 6 designs. And this is really cute. I don't have cats, but I think it's super cute. So this is a new booklet. Waxing Moon Designs came out with Autumn Littles. So they have a lot of these littles, and it has 6 patterns in it. And Cheryl sometimes makes these, but super cute. Super cute. Now you guys saw Pop of Winter. Pop of Spring. Did I do Pop of Winter? That's not released. I did Pop of something. You guys can see right here. This is how I know what I do. I have to go back and look. I'm on my 5th book this year. I'm not even joking either. Pop of something. It's somewhere in here. It's in my mania. It's in my other one. Perfect example. Pop of... No, this is the next one. This is a perfect example of I am losing my mind. Pop of Spring. I made Pop of Spring. Haha. My 4th book you can't see because it's fall. So Pop of Summer came in, and in this is the pattern, the fabric, and the pearl cotton. And I'm going to stitch this in August. I'm going to stitch the left side August 3rd and the right side August 10th. And it has a little hummingbird. I'm not really like a hummingbird person, so I might put a flower, or I could put a little J from Lori's New Alphabet. We'll see what I do. I'm not a hummingbird person, so we'll have to just see. I might leave it the same. The next couple are new to Fat Quarter Shop. They're not new. They're just new to Fat Quarter Shop. So we have a product suggestion form that people can submit product suggestions, and I go through those actually every day, even on the weekends. And if I want to carry it, I base that on if I think they'll sell. So these are, we had some requests for some photo booths, and one of the samplers we didn't have. So these Bent Creek, but they come with, do they come with fabric? No. Yeah, they come with fabric. That was the thing I was looking for. So these are Bent Creek. They come with fabric, no floss. Plum Street. This one is called Siren's Tart. And then this one is Live on Little. And this one's pretty thick. It's a pretty thick. It's quite the pattern. Barn Owl Cottage Garden Samplings, and this actually sold out already and then came back in stock. So this is part of a Year in the Woods series, and I cannot tell you how well these are selling. They are so phenomenal, and I think it's the detail, but people are buying these like crazy. Now when we get to 12, we will make a set of all 12. Nutcracker Village, just to remind myself that I have not caught up and I am super behind, we have the Spanish chocolate shop. So if you were in our club, it has shipped to you a few weeks ago. Brand new, Heart and Hand Doodles Halloween and Eagle and Flag. Now on Doodles, I wanted to let you know last year they did the season. So they did like spring, summer, fall, winter, or something like that. I've stitched 2 of them. 2 of them are kits in our shop. They're a fabric. No, okay, yeah. So we have a kit in our shop that is the pattern and the floss, but not the fabric, because everybody on cross stitch really wants a different type of fabric. 2 of the kits are online. 2 will be later in the year. They're on my list to stitch. I just have to stitch them. But I'm assuming now she's going to do like holidays. So before it was like spring, summer, autumn, winter. Now I think she's going to do more of a fun. And then these are 2 cute new ones. And I've been showing these throughout the year. This is From the Heart. And this one is September Quaker, and Cheryl has been stitching those throughout the year, and I think she'll love this one because I think she likes purple. Speaking of Cheryl, she actually gave me a product suggestion. She always gives us lots of product suggestions. And she asked that we buy this from Yarn Tree. It's called Threaded Cross Stitch Needle Palette and Organizer. And I bought it because she told me to, but I didn't know what it was. So I'm going to show you because I asked her to do this for us. So like you saw in Cheryl's bag earlier, she likes obviously to keep her, oh look, you can see me. Okay, I gotta stop. I'm losing my mind. I've been on here way too long. She likes to keep her needles threaded. And so with this, what you can do, now when I saw it, I thought, oh, you'll just do this. Well, that's obviously not correct. So the purpose of this, now that she has this, she won't have to do that in her bags. She puts the color number and the symbol, and then you can do it in pencil and redo it, or you can just, you know, it comes with several. And then what she can do, I'm assuming, is that. Well, I mean, obviously she would, oops, put her thread on the inside. She won't care. She'll be okay. She always watches, so she'll know that I messed it up. Okay, there we go. And then you're ready to go, and then you don't have to throw it in your bag. So this is a product request from Cheryl. And then Stitcher, I'm gonna make this. So I don't know what I'm gonna make it in. I don't know what color I'm gonna make it in, but it's gonna go on that wall of stitching that I have. And then I'm gonna show you a photo. I went on vacation to Boston. I'd never been to Boston, and I'm really bad at taking pictures, guys, so I'm going to show some pictures, but I really didn't take pictures of the sites. I think I might be morbid because I took like a million pictures of cemeteries and graves and none of the buildings. So we went to the Paul Revere house. Somehow I didn't take a picture of the Paul Revere house, but we paid for the tour, and upstairs there was this cross stitch. This was stitched, you can see it says Maria Revere Curtis. It says aged 11 years, January 26th, 1819. And according to the historian in the building, this is the true original. So I was like, oh my gosh, Kevin, I would love to have a pattern of that. And then we promptly were pushed into the shop. What is it? You know how they push you, just like in Disneyland, into the gift shop. And they sell the pattern. So I bought the pattern. And the pattern's really cool. It is done by R&R Reproductions. We can link to it, but if you just Google Maria Revere Curtis cross stitch, it's going to take you to the shop. And it has her whole biography. So my kids were, I don't know, we were in something that I was totally not interested in. I'm just not into history, and so we had to go through this like museum forever, and so I just sat and read this because I was like, I can't with the history. And then I have a couple of pictures if you guys want to see. So this was the very first thing we did, and it is a cemetery. And behind it, that is actually a very famous library. I think it's like the first library in the United States or something. That is Ben Franklin's parents. But anyway, I was really obsessed with the headstones and reading them. And our kids were mortified, and they were like, something is wrong with you and mom. I mean, you and dad, because can we get out of the cemeteries? But we took this tour. It's kind of a funny story. When we got there, we kind of got there late in the day, so we took this tour, and these people were like totally dressed up like monsters, and it was not. Kevin was like, Kim, I don't think, Kimberly, he's like, I don't think this is what you meant to book. And I was like, yeah, probably not. But my kids ended up loving it, but then they were like, why do y'all, anyway, let's see what the next picture is. So those are my kids. That's Christopher on the left, Will, Emma, and Peyton, and Will and Peyton are twins. And that was, I think, oh, that was the first night after we took that little scary tour. Oh, that's Kevin. So if y'all want to see Mr. Kevin, that's Kevin. He's probably going to be mad that he's on here. And then that's it. And I'll show more pictures. I'll show more pictures on not this Friday's live stream, but the next Friday's live stream. Next week's FlossTube, we're going to have a special guest. And right now I'm going to give y'all a chance to start guessing who our guest is. And once the first person guesses correctly, oh, We've already released it. Okay, well, whoever can guess. We're just going to pretend I didn't release that on social media. See, I don't get on social media. Okay, I'm going to answer any of the last questions. Trisha, follow the heart looks like it doesn't have the same open width on each side. Yeah, I know. They're going to reframe that. And I've been complaining a lot, so I think they're probably tired of me. I might have to. Will I be making stickers so we can use them on our planners? So, for the planners, that is Lori Holt, she already has some stickers that she sells. We have some older stickers we printed for her like 5 years ago that are still good, and she has some stickers that she sells through Riley Blake. But these would also work in the planner. They're just a little thick. Cecilia Turner, yes. Heart in hand. Cecilia Turner will be here with us next week. And I did bring some pieces in that I stitched of hers, so that's awesome. And then Janet Buster, thank you so much. She gave us a super chat. She says, I'm glad you had a good time off. Congratulations, Emma. My nephew Garrett just got his driver's license yesterday too. Thank you for all you do, Kimberly and team. Yeah, it was fun. So she got a driver's license in Marble Falls, and I was like, let's go to Fredericksburg because I have no clue where I'm at in Texas, and I thought it was close. It was not close. It was like an hour away. And then I was like, you know what? You're going to drive home. And I was literally on pins and needles the whole way. But our next, she's really good on like some things, but she doesn't know how to park. She doesn't know how to like pull out in traffic. So Kevin, I told Kevin he had to give her a lesson this weekend. Love the pictures. Boston is fun. Yeah, Boston was really fun. And then I made my kids. I thought they were going to kill me. So first of all, Kevin, we rode on like trolleys 2 days. And then we rode on subways 2 days. And I was really good the first day. I was like going along with it. The second day, I was like, Kevin, me and Emma had to have a talk. We were like, Kevin, because there was like stuff on the subway. Like stuff that my kids don't need to see. And I was just like, okay, I'm done with the subways. I did it for 2 days, and then the last 2 days we did Ubers. But we took a subway commuter train, I don't know, to Salem, and I made my kids take an hour and a half tour of the Salem, and it was all historical about the Salem witch trials. So my funny story of today is, my kids are so mean to me. So first of all, like Kevin did not want to go on the tour, but he was a trooper. He did. And the lady was very interactive, and she talked a lot about the witches and what happens when you, what happened back in 1692. You know, what were the things that would get you accused of being a witch? And so the first son, my first son who asked a question said, did any of them have last words? And she was like so impressed. She's like, nobody's ever asked me that question. And she was a historian, and she starts spitting out all these things that these witches, they're not witches, these women who were persecuted said. And I thought that was really cool. So I think his twin thought, okay, I got to come up with a question now, because she said his question was so good. So we're going along on the tour. We're almost done. And she said, one of the things that would be, she started asking like all of us in the group, like, do you wear this color, or do you have a pet, or do you do you blah blah blah, what, I can't remember all the questions because I pay attention so well. One of the questions was, do you have a pet? That could get you persecuted for being a witch. So my other son says, so if you have a pet but you don't like it, but your mom likes the pet, would your mom be the witch and you not be the witch? And I was like, what is going on? And the tour guide was like, way to throw your mom under the bus. Anyway, it was quite hilarious. And then by that point, I was like, please, no more questions. Let's not. Anyway, that's my funny story from Boston. I will tell more as time goes on. Thank you so much for joining me. So sorry I took so long talking, but I hope you loved our stitches. Of course, any kind of suggestions you have for us, put them in the comment box, like the video, and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next Tuesday.